What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Days of Doom. This is published by Atari. It is a post-apocalyptic strategy RPG that has like zombies and mutants and raiders and guys in gas masks. All that kind of stuff where you're undertaking an FTL-style journey across the Wasteland to try to reach a fabled safe place. You know, in zombie games, this is a fairly common theme where you're trying to get to like Terminus, or like Haven, or like Nexus, or something like that. It always has some kind of name that implies safety, but then it turns out being sinister or something. You are on a road trip, and you will bash many zombies and kill many people to get there. Along the way, you're going to be building a base. Sort of Darkest Dungeon style, I suppose. So I figured we'd do some rock bottom first impressions of this game. We'll just dive on in. This is completely blind. I've played the tutorial, and that's about it. I'll do my best in the next 30 minutes or so to give you my observations about my initial things that I see with the game that need to change, things that it's doing good, my kudos and my things that need to change, and hopefully that'll help you decide whether or not this is a title you wanted to purchase for yourself. If after watching this, you wanted to get the game, I got a link for you down below in the description. On top of that, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream down there. I'm also a full-time streamer, so aside from the videos here, if you like the videos, I stream like 6 hours a day over on Twitch, so slide through. We will skip the tutorial because I've already played it and I know what I'm doing, kind of.
The apocalypse wasn't the end of the world, just the end of the one we knew. Over time, a new world took shape. A little darker, a little stranger than the old one. The inhabitants of this post-apocalyptic wasteland range from your run-of-the-mill zombies to your usual psychotic, murderous, spiky armored raider clans. And the elite reptilians everyone knows were really in charge, back in the before times. But there are still people too. Quite extraordinary people trying to make a life out here, trying to find safety, trying to find sanctuary. The city is real, and you can get there. With the right planning and enough supplies, resources in this world are scarce, and the dangers are many. But hope, that you can have for free, and that's all you need to get started. So long as you're willing to fight for it.
Alright, so here's our little campsite base. It looks like we have a number of little buildings that we can play around with. We've got the living quarters over here, and so this is mostly for food acquisition, candidate upkeep. Okay, we've got the mysterious merchant, we've got the workshop, we've got the notice board, and we've got the garage that allow me to make my squads bigger and things of that nature. What does this do down here? Is it just like, it looks like it's just a journal for like knowing what's going on. Alright, well let's start our journey then. It looks like we need to pick our squad. We've got Max Brentwood up here, who is a fighter. We've got Daisy Hazard, who is a priestess. Okay, we've got Evangeline Winterset, who apparently is some kind of hydromancer or wizard or something. And then we've got a gunslinger down here. Alright, maybe we'll go priest, gunslinger. Just give us a nice round. We got like a melee guy, we got a ranged guy, and we've got a guy that supplies buffs and heals. That feels like a pretty safe place to start when it comes to, like, actively diving on into the game. We've got 2 locations we can go to. Every single time we drive, it's going to cost us gas. If you've played faster than light, this will more than likely be a motif that you're very familiar with. Also, the fact that every video game in the history of ever now does the FTL thing is also, you know, part of it. Let's go up here. A hitchhiker covered with metal bits and bobs wearing strange patchwork clothing flags you down and asks for directions. Yeah, we can offer help. The stranger cackles and waves his bits and bobs around, attracting zombies with the clamor. Directions to your grave! Alright, he shrieks, running off down the road. Thanks, bud. Appreciate that. This totally pointless hazard that didn't need to happen, and now we're all fighting for our lives. I could have just told you where the Doritos factory was, but no, apparently it's got to be more complicated than that. Can I see how far these guys can walk? I can, good. Let's move up on them. I'm going to put my gunslinger over here. This game uses the standard XCOM style 2 AP system, however there is a... Oh, he can run. How surprising. He moved a lot further than I expected. I think he double moved is what happened right there. So basically, you've got 2 APs. You can use them however you want. You can use them to move twice. You can use them to attack twice. The enemy just used theirs to move twice, which I did not expect the zombie to do. And so we're just going to have to adapt to that situation. We've got a dagger flick, create a targeted shield for a friendly unit, negating damage 3 times. Yeah, let's maybe do that. Put some wizard magic on my man over here. There we go, wizard magic on him. The camera's a little stiff and indynamic right now is the first thing that I notice. So they've got a really good opportunity here to take on board some of the lessons from Darkest Dungeon 1 and Darkest Dungeon 2 and really start to, what does this do? So in a straight line for 5 tiles, it's a piercing shot. All right, we'll go ahead and zap that guy right there. Who's up next? Him. Okay, I think I can fix this. Just double fire right there, and then you move down to here. And now that you've moved down, we'll use a shoulder slam right there, and that'll stun him. That guy's going to sneak on through, and unfortunately got to get an attack off. I was hoping that would not be the case, that would be 1 square too far. But that's what I get for hoping and a wishing instead of planning and executing. We'll go ahead and throw that up. As I was saying, camera's a little indynamic. I think there was a big opportunity here for them to put like a wind up and almost like, see, that's very impactless right there when I shoot the enemy. Like the gun sound isn't punchy. It's barely a tiny little click clack. You don't get any kind of impact or oomph when the bullet goes off and hits the foe. They could have actually accentuated that a lot by A, picking a better sound effect for the gun, and then B, even if they had not picked a better sound effect for the gun, when you go to attack on somebody, you just have a dynamic camera that can be enabled and disabled. Like this mode right here would be disabled effectively, and like it zooms in real fast as he points the gun in like a Darkest Dungeon kind of way. It slides him to the left on the camera. He fires it, like, you know, slides over the zombie. They get hit with a big thud right there. It'd make the gameplay feel a lot better with just a little bit of camera work here inside the combat, in all honesty. It's coming off a little bit weightless because of it, I think. We've got a rune of health on this side, 40 maximum health. All right. However, the art style appears to be tastefully done. We've got another event over there. You stop by a lonely abandoned house for a brief pause. All of the windows and doors to the building are barred. However, the nearby garage appears to be open. I investigate you. You enter the beaten down garage, and to your surprise, you find it more or less unlooted. You scrounge around and secure resources for the trip. So we've got a barricade, we've got some scrap, we've got some renown, and we've got some fuel right there. That's the good stuff. It looks like we can actually kind of move around however we want, too. Like, we don't really need to go in any particular direction as long as we have enough gas, and it doesn't look like anything's really, like, pressing down on us either. You can hold down Alt in this game if you want to see the enemy stats and if they can move or not. You guys kind of, like, pile up over here. I'm going to try to play this a little bit more carefully this time because I feel like it just didn't work out for me last time. I feel like they were able to rush up on me pretty aggressively. We'll see if they try something similar this time around. But if they make any mistakes, we should be able to capitalize on it. So, like, mistakes would be things like being in a straight line, for example. I can get them with the AoE. Or, once again, being in a straight line, I can shoulder bash one guy back and one guy forward. Let's go with a shield on you because I think this lower corner is probably going to fold. And then you kind of just bunch up back here, protect yourself. His range is not good enough yet. But if I step forward, or if I just get this ability off my cursor, there we go. Just get that out of there so that it's not doing what it's doing anymore. We can bust a shot right there. He is going to get an attack off. These zombies are surprisingly spry for being the rotting dead. We do have an opportunity right here to bash those two together, so that's exactly what I'm going to do, because there ain't no cure for the zombie bash blues. I can't really accomplish a whole lot here, so just stand guard. That's it. Just stand guard, take less damage. There you go. That's exactly what I was talking about. I think they're programmed to go after whichever ally is closest, and I think we can probably exploit that to our benefit. So a knife goes out right there. Knife goes out right there. Along this side, we don't have anybody like in a straight line, unfortunately. Oh, I guess we could have killed him if I had just fired twice. All right, good to know. I'm still like getting used to the damage values, but it doesn't look like they're actually randomized altogether that much. Normally with games like this, you've got kind of like a window of damage that you deal, but this right here is just straight 23 damage. I do like the art style, and I do think that the cutouts look good. I think they've done a decent job at characterizing here. I think they've all got like a nice motif to it. The entire bit of combat, though, is just kind of weightless and wispy. Definitely needs some more punch and some more hit to it. Nice little victory. I wonder if that barrel explodes. It probably does. A handful of needles. Throw needles in a line up to 5 tiles away that deal 20 damage to the first unit hit 3 times and apply vulnerable. Oh, sick, dude. We could go for that. Okay, so I'm starting to see some equipment options here. And it looks like we've got the Rune of Health. Yeah, we'll give that to him since he's supposed to be the tank. We've got a barricade right there. And then for the needle throws, that kind of sounds like the sort of thing that she would have. That's what it feels like to me anyways. Like, she already throws a knife, so is it that much different throwing like a big old long acupuncture needle? You know what I mean? Like, looks like we've got 6 maps that we need to trudge through, so that's pretty cool. Let's hit this real fast. You find a pile of rocks painted to look like a reptilian, and it seems to be here for no reason. Not a bad decoy, but not good enough to fool you. Upon closer inspection, it looks like there's some disturbed earth at the base of the rock pile. Dig it up. You struggle to clear the rocks out of the way and access the soil. It's probably best if you move on. Yeah, I didn't have what I was supposed to have right there. Apparently there's like perks and stuff. So we've got 30% more HP right there, which is great. Wasted a little bit of fuel that I wish I had not wasted, but here we are. Oh, dude, there's an actual reptilian. They're real. I thought the game was just being cheeky. Like, I thought it was just, like, joking around. Like, the characters were, like, crazy conspiracy theory nutters. They actually exist. There's actually reptilians. That's, you know, if one of your public leaders licks their lips a lot, it doesn't mean that they just have dry lips and they never figured out the benefit of just keeping a chapstick around, man. It means that they're a lizard in a human skin suit that's casually guiding society's laws, morals, social mores, so on and so forth. It's never the simple solution, ever. I'm going to try to drop his barricade on the next turn and kind of see how it, like, benefits me here. Actually, I suppose I probably could have dropped it from right there and it would have been cool. Another thing you would want to see from this is just basic tool tipping from like an XCOM game, especially since they went with the 2 AP. When I move my cursor around right here to my movement range, if the enemy is in range of my W attack, it should draw a red line between me and my character to indicate that, so that I'm not constantly checking ranges and being like, okay, I gotta move forward 2 tiles. Like, it's one of those little things that I expect now from a modern tactical XCOM-styled RPG. Like, it should just be here. There is no denying that. It should just be a base kit cooked-in thing. We do have a straight line right here that I can fire through. And I think we've got, like, an outwitted tough do. Hold on, what was that? Is that, like, if he stops next to a barricade? Apparently, I need to read my character cards. Yeah, hit him with a gat. What? Hit him with a bat. Show him where we at. There we go. Oh, with the double kill? My man is a beast. He's a machine. He's a zombie-killing dump truck of murder. Is this consumable, or is it repeatable? I guess I gotta find out. I like that it had its own graphic. I didn't expect that. I just expected it to deal damage thrice. How often do I get a chance to say the word thrice on this show? You gotta roll the R when you say thrice, so that you're like a noble king of Mercia or something. We've got medkit over here. Restores nearby friendly units' health by 80. Can be cast on self. Okay. Apparently, reptilians do not know where the secretive gas stash is, because they bequeathed no gas upon me. And we should probably throw the medkit on somebody, though. Yeah, it looks like it's a single-use consumable, so I'll keep that in mind going forward. So, like, what was that tough thing that he had? Friendly units in a 0-tile range get a 10% critical hit chance. Friendly units within 1-tile range take 20%. There it is. Okay, so that's what it was. And then what does she do? It looks like we've also got level ups down here. Helping Hand. Support items used by the Priestess are applied to other friendly units within... Oh, really? That's super strong. That's just Beacon of Light, basically, from World of Warcraft. Damn. Okay, let's take a few more fights because I want to see. We're probably going to throw here once we get to like 25 minutes so that we can see what the meta progression looks like in this title. However, as we start out, how far can they move on their turn? To like right there. Okay, let's just use 1 AP to move up a little bit, but maintain formation if you can. Because it's going to take a turn or two for that guy to get here. So let's get to the bonkin'. There we go. 23 damage is fine. I'll take it. Anything that lets us open a little bit early against these guys, because if you really boil down a strategy game, all that it is a contest of health meters. So typically, you want to be the first guy to strike that health meter and make it hoit. Let's go ahead and move to here so that we're like roughly in formation. We're going to put a shield on him. All right. We do have a lot of enemies in a row right there. And he does have 3 damage absorb. It may be worth it. He can absorb 3 times. Let's try our best. I mean, AoEs are like primo damage opportunities. Like I said, every strategy game mostly boils down to a contest of health bars. The people that have the highest health bar, usually the ones that win. We'll go ahead and bash your head open real fast because I don't like you. I would have liked to have seen some variation in between the zombies as well. Like different little, because it looks to me like, well, it looks to me like they use some kind of like puppeted rag dolls in order to create these. I might be off on that. But just creating an overlay for different short styles, shirt styles, hairstyles, hats and things they might have on. Might have been a good way to spruce up the zombies and kind of give them a little bit more personality. Oh, he went after her. Surprising. I didn't expect that. All right. So here's the thing. He's going to need like some aid over here. You only do 18 damage though, so like, what's the point? I guess we'll throw over there. For you though, I don't know how much absorb he has left, but we need to kill off these zombies like right now. There we go. And so now that we've destroyed their turn economy, that tends to be what I focus on. Health bars and turn economy. Those are the 2 things that in any strategy game, strategy RPG with combat like this, 2 AP, XCOM styled, new XCOM anyway, style combat, I tend to focus on. I think if she double attacks, we can get him into 1-tap territory. We did indeed get him into 1-tap territory. Oh, I thought he was going to be 1 square out of range right there. Good stuff. Enemies killed, a little bit more XP. Everybody leveled up. Nice little sound effect right there. Pleasing little animations. Let's see. Wow, you can get up to like 5 guys, huh? It looked like, I don't know, in that after screen menu right there, it looked like you can actually stack up a pretty solid team if you want to. What's a level up do for me? Oh, they're just passive increases. That's a bummer. I would have liked to have seen a bit more, I guess. I mean, it's fine. You know what I mean? I think most of the customization is probably going to come from your runes and your passive abilities, but I would have liked to have seen a way to customize these abilities over here. Maybe there is. Maybe it happens in the meta progression. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and go on over to the right. We're going to want to draw them up this way, I think. If we can get them near the Explodo barrels. Deals damage and it releases oil once destroyed. Well, they might not explode then. I was hoping they would explodses, but it doesn't look like they make a de-explodses. Alright, well, let's just do this the old-fashioned way and murder them. How about that? We don't have to get too fancy with it. Can you put down the barricade right here? Nice. Come down here. She's slightly out of range. Let's go ahead and put a shield on him, I guess. That's fine. Alright. What are we looking at here? There is still a space down there where they can move. But we should be able to get some preliminary damage going right there. I'm going to guess that that was a crit. Oh, no, he's going around. Look at you over here being all good at your job. All right, we'll move down this way. Smack that fool up. He done been smacked. We will throw a little bit of damage this way, so as to guarantee the clinch kill right there. He should hopefully tank Big Dog over here. I would hope anyways. There we go. Nice little shot right there. And fire another one. I mean, we have what we have right now. Can I stun this big guy? I can. Good. All right. So he's not immune to stunning, so we should be able to just whittle him down. Hopefully he doesn't have any obnoxious on death effects, dude. On death effects are like my biggest. I've noticed a lot of games. It started with Diablo 4, right? And I started looking at games, and dude, there are so many games where like the player is not rewarded for killing an enemy. They're like punished. The enemy always like blows up or creates some acid or creates like a void zone or does like something, man. You can't just let you kill an enemy anymore. They always got to like punish you somehow. Oh, look at that guy. He's got his bone out. All right. And then this guy's got some kind of shoulder worm thing going on. What do I want to do here? I think we pull all the way south to isolate, I think. That just feels kind of right to me. I think we need to rush to grab this choke over here, too. Like, if we don't get this choke point, things are going to get bad. So normally, I'm not massively hyped about doing yellow moves in any game like this. I tend to avoid it. But in this case, it may be the play. Now, we don't know who they're going to focus on, so I'll just shield up the tank for right now. He's going all the way around because I think he occupies 2 tiles. This is exactly what I was hoping would happen. These guys would end up self-kiting, basically, because they can't fit in through this little sliver down here. And then I can just kind of, like, run and gun my way through it. Go ahead and move forward. Good stuff. They're trying. It's not going to work, though. Let's go ahead and blappers these dudes. Dudes hath been blappered. And then we move him back over here to protect that side. His stun is back up, too, which is really nice. So that should allow us to stun lock the combat real fast. Especially if these guys line up on this corner, which I've got a sneaking suspicion their pathfinding is going to do. I might be able to ram one of them into the other one. Okay. Not ideal. Not exactly what I figured would happen. But that's okay. We can kind of just move out of the way. Oh, no, I misclicked, dude. Okay, well, you go out front then. Somebody's got to absorb these hits, all right? Oh, wow, you doing it again, huh? There's no cooldown on that? Oh, that was just okay. That's fine then. I thought he was doing the AoE again, like on the next turn. Definitely shoot him. Let's get some damage off on him. I don't know how aggressively I want to move here, but I do think it's an interesting idea to have the Priestess tank this for at least a turn, because she got the magic shield that negates all damage, so... magic shield that negates all damage does not magic shield and negate all damage. Surprisingly enough, apparently there are certain things that sneak through it. Interesting. I can't really slam this guy without hurting my own Priestess, so that's just unfortunate. What an annoyance. That guy's got to go. All right. Get this guy down real fast. There we go. He's now dead. Should be able to get base contact right there. Stun lock him into a wall. If I can stack everybody up right here, I can use her medkit on the next turn. And she had that ability that says that she uses support items on everyone around her. So I'm hoping that'll work. I'm going to forego a turn just to see if it'll work. He already lost his, so who cares? Let's see if this works. It did indeed work exactly as telegraphed. So good. I'm glad to see it. That's a really strong ability. I'm fairly impressed by it. Man, that AoE. All right, move over to here. Apparently, I'm all shveddy right now. My man got the shveddies. I don't really want to end my turn inside the poison stack, but I will on the off chance that we can clinch this now. We can't clinch this now. I'm just dumb. Never mind. I'm bad at math and I'm stupid. There we go. Victory. Definitely victory. We took care of it. Everybody's got a little bit right there. We got some runes, so we get more ability damage. Restores 10 health at the start of any combat encounter. Not bad. I like what we've picked up right there. Nothing too crazy at the moment. That's taking us on into the suburbs. But actually, I'm going to try to throw because I want to see what the meta progression looks like. We reach what seems to be a raider-controlled fueling station. Everything is calm. One man comes out of a shed. He nods in your direction as if leaning to inquire about your needs. I don't have any. I'm good to go. So I spent a few minutes kind of passing turns here just so we could throw and take a look at what happens when the game ends. What happens when you lose? Because it does appear that there's some kind of like building or metagame mechanic going on. So there we go. We died fighting a shambler. We picked up some items and resources. Let's go back to the settlement and have a look. So the settlement, it appears as though we just accumulate kind of our renown and our stuff for various fights in order to raise our candidate limits up to 5 or 6. Is it randomized every time we go in? Or do we get the same people every single time? Their names change around, but it appears to be the same grouping of classes. It looks like there's 2 more down there as well, though. So it looks like we can increase our inventory, we can increase our squad size. Honestly, nothing too crazy here. It looks like there's also a workshop that does something. Unfortunately, we didn't pick enough consumables during the last run to know. This guy right here probably allows us to buy consumables at the beginning of the run as well, would be my guess. But meta progression seems to be pretty simple. It doesn't look like there's any prevailing sort of darkest dungeon pressure being placed upon the player. I would guess that this, from what I've seen so far, appears to be just a very, very simple squad strategy RPG with very, very few frills. It gets the job done. It's fine. It's not great. I think with some camera work, they could definitely, and a little bit of sound design, I think they could absolutely probably get around to making the combat feel a little bit better and a little bit more punchy. But from there, you know what I mean? If you've got the strategy itch, there doesn't appear to be anything crazy deep going on this side. It seems to be just like your bog standard FTL style move in between nodes, fight turn-based battles, zombie game. There hasn't been anything too wild that's like blown my hair back. Neither has there really been anything that's like disappointed or upset me. It's fine. This is Days of Doom. I will see you all later. Thank you for hanging out. That's about all the time I got for the day. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today it was Days of Doom. Tomorrow it'll probably be something else. I almost said Daves of Doom. And honestly, I think I need to kind of like reflect on where that slip of the tongue came from. Why do I have Daves on the mind? Who knows? Who knows why any of us does anything? But thank you for hanging out. I will catch you all later. Wow, that was sick as hell. I did not expect that ability to actually be that dope. Okay. Yeah, I think, oh my god, she kind of like lines him up and then the gunslinger takes him down. I can see the appeal here. I will see you all tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet. Thank you for hanging out, and it's time for me to go. Bye, folks.